Hey, what's up everyone, Ollie here. So ever since I posted my iPhone 11 Pro review, you guys have been asking what's on my iPhone, what apps do I use, what apps do I recommend. And I like to make this a regular thing, I like to post them on a yearly basis. So let's get straight into it. So, first things first, I know a lot of you are going to be asking about the wallpapers and stuff that I use. I'll leave links down in the description below to the wallpapers, so make sure to check those out. I usually post them on my personal website. So we'll start with the home screen. My home screen setup is basically all of the apps that I use on a regular basis. When it comes to mail, I use Spark. Spark is my main mail app. I won't go into all of my apps, mainly because there is a lot of sort of sensitive and private information. So I won't show you everything. I'll probably just put up some overlays or whatever. But anyway, Spark is my mail app of choice. It's what I'm using as my main mail app, and it's what I use to manage all my email accounts. Great app, super easy to use, and it just lets me easily sort of swipe to archive or delete emails and stuff like that. Spotify is my main music service. It's what I love to use for listening to music. I have a ton of different playlists and stuff that I listen to, and I've tried Apple Music, but one thing that bothers me about Apple Music is that when you go to the next song, there's a little pause, there's a little gap. I don't know if anyone else has noticed it, but whenever I use Apple Music, there's always a little gap between each song. On Spotify, when you go to the next song, it's absolutely instant. It starts playing the next song. I don't know why Apple haven't changed this or fixed that, because it very much disrupts the sort of musical flow, you could say. When I'm in the car, when I'm listening to music, or when I'm working away, I want to be able to have my music playing all the time, so and without any gaps. Spotify seems to do that very well. Waze is my navigation map of choice. I do use Google Maps as well when I'm wanting to find places or whatever, but Waze is my navigation app of choice, mainly because it basically gives you very accurate traffic information, and it tells you where speed cameras are, where police officers are, where accidents are, where people have been pulled over or whatever, or people have been pulled over on the motorway, on the highway, whatever. It's just very useful. And because Waze is basically user created, a lot of people basically put in when they see a car that's broken down, or when there's been an accident, or when there's traffic. So, it's very accurate, I found, and it gets me wherever I need to go. I've been using Apple's Notes and Reminders app since the beginning. Basically, I think they're absolutely fantastic apps, and because they sync very well across devices, it's very easy just to have any notes, any reminders, or whatever else, just anywhere that I want to. Ever since the iOS 13 update as well, Notes has got a huge overhaul, so has Reminders, and it makes the apps even more powerful. They've replaced a lot of the sort of third-party apps that a lot of people use. So if you haven't tried Notes or Reminders, I recommend them. They're great Apple apps, and Apple have done a good job of basically making them as useful as possible. And then I use Tado to basically manage the temperature and the hot water in my house. Very useful. I actually prefer it over Nest, mainly because I found Tado actually has a lot more customization when it comes to when you leave home, when it comes to what times you want the heating to go on and whatever else. And I can control it from my phone, of course, which is brilliant. So I use Tado to basically just manage the temperature of my house, to manage the climate of my house. I use Visco for photo editing, but I found myself actually using Lightroom more often now. Visco, I use it just now and then when I'm editing some pictures very quickly, or when I'm not too fussed about making an image absolutely perfect. Visco is pretty awesome, and I just use it to edit mainly my iPhone pictures. When it comes to raw images, I usually use Lightroom, but we'll get onto Lightroom in a second. It's on another screen. I have a finance folder where I just have some finance apps, not too important really, and then photo and video apps, basically just like YouTube Studio, Unsplash, nothing too interesting. And then I have another screen of just miscellaneous apps. I won't go into them because there's a lot of apps here which aren't very interesting. They're just utilities, you could say, things that I need day to day. When it comes to football, so I watch a lot of football, I keep up with football. I use the official Premier League app. The official Premier League app, I think, is actually brilliant. It gives you news, it gives you current scores. It also keeps scores live. So, if you see lots of matches going on, you can actually keep a tab on them live. Very useful. I'm an Arsenal supporter, so it is a very emotional roller coaster supporting Arsenal. But I use the Premier League app to keep up with football. When it comes to storage, I do get asked, how do I stick with a 64GB iPhone? So there's actually two things that I use to manage my storage. I use iCloud Drive to manage all my photos. So all of my photos and videos are stored in iCloud Drive. I use their 250GB plan, and it basically keeps all your high resolution photos and videos in the cloud, and then keeps sort of like lower resolution copies of them on your device, and then when you want to go see that photo, it downloads it automatically. And it's just a fantastic way to save storage on your iPhone, but also keep a backup of everything. You know, I don't want to lose any of my photos or videos, so knowing that they're stored in iCloud, they're stored on my Mac, they're stored in various different places, I don't have to worry about losing them or deleting them by accident. When it comes to file storage, I use Dropbox. I don't actually use it too much on my iPhone, but if I do need to access a file, I'll usually have it on Dropbox. You know, I use Dropbox for anything and everything pretty much, you know, client work, for any of my design stuff, for any of my Photoshop stuff, pretty much just a mix of everything. Yeah, Dropbox is my main sort of cloud storage solution, you could say. If we go over to the final screen where I want to show you some basically apps that I recommend that maybe you guys should check out, Notion is a great one. So Notion, I mean, I can't really show you because obviously I have a lot of sensitive stuff in here, but Notion lets you do tons of different stuff. It's basically an app that you can use to organize your life, pretty much. I feel like that's the best way to say it. You can basically make anything and everything. You know, if you look here, you can make roadmaps, you can make user research databases, you can make class notes. These are all templates that Notion provide. It's great for work, it's great for personal development, it's great for all sorts of stuff. And I feel like I still haven't used it to its full potential. I mainly use it for basically to-do lists and stuff when I'm working on client stuff, when I want to collect stuff into one page where I can have like links to design briefs, where I can have links to resources and stuff of the company, where I can have my to-do list, and I can also share those with other people so they can see progress, so they can have access to everything all at once. But yeah, Notion is very, very powerful, and there's so much you can do with it, and it's so capable. I definitely recommend checking it out if you're looking for something to basically just organize your life. Lens Distortion is basically a photo editing app. So, you know, if I open up and import a picture, it's good for adding light flares. I use it for light flares. So as you can see here, I've got a picture of Porsche GT3, which I saw when I went down to the Nürburgring last weekend. And, you know, you can add a flare, and if I add it basically where the light is coming from, it just adds a nice little touch, nice little light flare to the image. And there's a ton of other stuff you can do with it. It's a free app as well, and they do have some paid upgrades as well, but yeah, it's just a nice little way to add some little touches to your photos. So Lightroom is my main photo editing app of choice, mainly because I have all of my presets on there. So a lot of you ask, you know, how do I get the look that I get on my pictures and stuff? I actually have some presets. I'll leave a link to them down in the description below, so make sure to check those out. And they've been very popular. I've actually been surprised myself how many people have bought them. I have like 10 presets that I use, and basically, you know, as you can see, I have a ton of pictures here, and they're all usually raw pictures that I've imported from my Sony a7 III, which I'm using to record this video. A lot of these pictures are just edited in Lightroom, and I just found that Lightroom is better to edit raw images because there's a lot more sort of manipulating you can do when it comes to images, and you can copy and paste edits from one picture to the other. So yeah, I think it's absolutely fantastic. And because I use Adobe's Creative Cloud subscription, I can have all my photos synced into the cloud, and they only download when I actually go to the picture. And yeah, it just makes it easy to basically edit my photos on a Mac, on an iPad, on my phone, wherever else I want to, and know that everything is synced everywhere. So yeah, that's my main photo editing app of choice. Threes is basically a game that I'm absolutely addicted to and that I play way too much. If I have a look at how much I've played, go to my stats, I have played a lot. So as you can see, total games, it just keeps going up. And yeah, I've pretty much been obsessed with this game. I've played it for a very long time, for a couple of years now. I don't know why I don't play any other games. This is the main game that I seem to play. As you can see, it's still going. I don't know when it's going to stop. It's just a great little game that I play, you know, when I want to kill a little bit of time, or when I'm watching TV or whatever. I just have it sort of playing in the background because you can play it whenever you like, and it doesn't require your constant attention to play like some other games. So yeah, it's just a game that I play a lot. Elevate is a brain training game, you could say, brain training app, and it's actually really good. I really like it. I really enjoy using it. Basically just keeps my mind active, you could say. Just a productivity app. I really enjoy it. They basically give you tasks to do every day, various different tasks, maths, reading, grammar, all sorts of different tasks, and just to keep your mind active pretty much. As you can see, I'm not the best at this. I'm not great. I'm pretty average, you could say, but I never was an academic person anyway. I never was great at sort of like maths and English and whatever else. So, you know, I'm hoping this app can help me get better pretty much. But yeah, it's free. They do have a paid plan as well. So yeah, I recommend checking it out. Must is an app which I don't see recommended much. Must is basically an app that helps you find new movies and TV shows and track movies and TV shows that you've seen. It can also recommend movies and TV shows based on stuff that you've liked and that you've saved. I really like it. It's a very well designed app. You can also watch trailers and stuff. It's incredibly well designed. You can follow friends on there as well. You can see what they've watched and whatever else. I really like it. I think it's a great little app just to find new movies and TV shows, because I love to watch movies and TV shows in my free time. The final app that I recommend is Freetrade. So if you're someone who is interested in buying stocks and shares and stuff like that, Freetrade is a great app. I think it is UK only though. I think in the US you have Robinhood. They basically do the same sort of thing where you can buy and sell shares in various different companies. I'm going to blur out a few things because obviously there is some sensitive information in here. But yeah, it's a fantastic app just to manage stocks and shares. It's very simple, very easy to use. And if you're in the UK, you can have an investment ISA where you can put up to £20,000 and any money that you make is tax free. So, you know, it's brilliant. If you're someone who's looking to have investments, to have some, you know, some money on the side, and you're looking at basically just having your money work for you, Freetrade is a great one. Highly recommend it. So yeah, if you're interested in that sort of thing, make sure to check it out. So that's pretty much it. You know, I don't actually have too many apps on my phone, and I don't use my phone actually too much either, mainly because I work from home. So I'm sitting behind my iMac. If I want to be productive, if I want to get work done, I just do it on my iMac. I just do it on my computer. You know, I don't travel too much either. So, you know, I haven't had to have a ton of apps basically do any work for me. So yeah, my iPhone setup is pretty simple. It's pretty easy. I will have a what's on my iPad video coming soon, so make sure to subscribe if you like that sort of stuff. A quick tip before I go away. I know some of you will already know this, but some of you may not. You can move lots of apps at once. So, you know, if you hold to rearrange your apps and you get an app and then you collect all the apps together, you can basically move all your apps all at once. Makes it super easy to move a ton of apps from one screen to the other. So yeah, just a quick little tip if you didn't know already. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter and subscribe for more.